Getting in the media positively, if I may add, has multiple benefits for any business. Sometimes you might get a sales spike as a result of this. You can see those businesses that get on Opera and things like that. You can see getting on the media boost the SEO of your website when these recognized media platforms link to your website. And getting on the media can also work wonders on your brand perception, especially with the new Google rules and updates and co, where they talk about having expertise and all that to rank on the search engines and all that. So some weeks back, we had an interview talking about getting your business in the media, and today's episode would go one step further into that, as we would discuss how you can build a winning digital PR strategy for your business on a budget. So you don't just go in, you go in with a strategy, making it more likely for you to win. So my name is Peter, and this is the Tech Your Business podcast, where we break down technology and inform you about the latest in technology also to help your business learn more, earn more, and do more. If you've stayed up to this point, I'm sure you're interested in getting your business mentioned, not called out or mentioned negatively in the media. So you should have a strategy for achieving this by the end of this episode. So today's episode will be a guest episode, and would have a guest on talking about this topic, as usual, an expert on the topic. Our guest today is Melanie Marten. Melanie is a public relations consultant with 15 years of experience helping brands get their voices heard. She's the founder of the Cool Public Relations and also PR on the Go. So I was also telling her a while ago that Greece is next on my vacation bucket list, and I'm jealous that she stays there. So welcome to the show, Melanie.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you. So, you've been in this for about 15 years, and you've seen different businesses try PRO, different businesses run PRO. So, what is the biggest mistake you've seen businesses make when they try to run these PRO campaigns themselves?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So I've been running as a boutique PR agency in Germany and Greece since 2010. And since with PR on the Go, which is a new initiative of us, we support startups and creatives with their do-it-yourself PR. And because we've seen the trend that more and more startups are picking it up and reaching out to journalists themselves, which is great, when the founder does the first steps and, get accustomed with PR, what it is, what it involves. Because for us, it was always a struggle when new business owners come to us and don't even know what PR is, would ask us to set up social media ads or something like this, which
Yeah.
does not involve, which is not what we're doing. So public relations is all about earned media and this promise of, you have a great founder story or a great product that you can actually get press coverage and therefore, we call it earned media instead of paid media, and therefore can generate a huge buzz for free. So this is the big promise. And the biggest mistake startups are doing is just take the journalist contacts and send them a sales newsletter, so first of all, it's nice that everyone wants to automate things and use all the CRM tools, but it's not a journalist is not a customer relation management process. It needs a pitch that is, an email pitch that is personalized to the journalist you're reaching out to. So public relations needs the effort to individually address people. So this is, I think, one major mistake that journalists are frequently calling out on like, okay, I don't want to be in your newsletter. I don't want to buy your product, you know, and so a journalist is not an investor that needs a problem solution pitch deck, and it's not a lead that needs a sales pitch. It needs a authentic introduction of you as a founder or the innovative or creative solution that you're offering with your business. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's one major thing.
So, and I think that's one thing we always encounter in marketing too. Most times people just market and just send generic things out, even to their customers, without knowing who their customers are, without trying to speak to those customers. And that's the same thing you're saying too. You try to send generic letters to all the journalists, you might not get any response back. And
Yes. So you can distribute news to a mass of journalists. Also, there are news distribution places, but in a format that addresses journalists. So you answer the W questions: who, what, where, when, and you include quotes. So you need to respect the format of a press release or a press announcement, or you pitch the most important ones directly via email and you reach out directly. And the same is actually what I would always suggest you do with your customers. So you have all the solutions in place for CRM and live chats and newsletters for your customers, but you need to at one point identify as a small business owner or as a startup who are your most important clients and customers, and get in contact with them directly, you know, have them as testimonials, which then is again like leading into PR, and to form more authentic collaborations with the most targeted journalists, with your most important clients, and get them as testimonials. And yeah, so these are specific tactics. Another major, I can't say mistake, but another major thing that is not getting startups anywhere, and a lot of startups would disagree, um, but it's the truth from the consultancy perspective, is these AI generated outreach emails to get just coverage for link building. This is a spammy disaster. So basically, a journalist says, announces, okay, they want to publish an article about a certain topic, and the startup outreach specialists, in quotation marks, they just generate something via ChatGPT that is not really relevant, and they just send it out to as many as journalists as possible, and it's more of a spam machine. And then so ChatGPT is actually not helping in the long run, because it always generates, it's all about adapting your brand message more further and further, right? So to get to know your audiences better and better, and then really tackle the niche problems of your audiences in your brand message. But ChatGPT would always just deliver brand messages that are like, unleash your creativity, or, you know, it's always starting with unleash for some reason.
and
uh,
discover and dive in.
yes, exactly. So it's not helping. It's actually, and this is where the biggest topic in the PR world of 2024 comes in, is social listening. And this is all about using tools, or really just, if you don't have the budget for tools, just follow hashtags and Google alerts on your topic that will inform you about the media outlets and the conversations on social media around your topic. And truly, really every day look into it. Who's talking about your industry, in your industry? and which topics are relevant to these audiences. And this is where PR also taps into product development recommendations, and not just a business strategy, but this is where we adopt the brand message. And sometimes it would also help startups to see where they can, where the focus should be on which product features, for example, and the overall strategy.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. So you mentioned earlier about a lot of businesses not knowing what PR is and
Yes.
asking you to do social media ads for you and things for them and things like that. So when you compare PR and those social media paid advertising and co, how can businesses achieve results that would compare to spending on paid advertising or even be better than spending on paid advertising using PR?
Yes, so that's a good question to answer. It's an important question because in the beginning, like most startups, they plan for a certain amount of marketing budget, and they think the easiest way is to just throw it on social media ads or Google ads, whereas PR is actually the most cost efficient solution because the goal is to tap into other people's audiences. So maybe mainly the audience of a media outlet, let's say a magazine or a TV show broadcast, and to tap into their audience for free. So you just need to work on making your topic as exciting as possible, or position yourself as an expert. And then it's much more efficient than just generating Google ads and social media ads where you don't even know your audiences yet. But so this is the main difference between the earned media and paid media. But PR is also a lot about um, going into partnerships, generating partnerships with other brands or with nonprofit organizations or local communities, event organizations. So everywhere where you can find where you can tap into your audiences. And how we do this is always finding like the thought leaders. And the original thought leaders and influencers are media outlets,
Mm,
so the big publishing houses. They also have the biggest budgets and resources for research on social listening. So just by setting up a Google alert, which should be the first thing on your brand name, on your own name, but then on your industry and the topics that you are following, you will receive notifications every day about the media outlets that are relevant, that are reporting about your topics and your industry. So you get to know these media outlets and the journalists who are writing about it. And they are also the first to pick up the trends that are happening on social media. So, and then you can see, does this fit, my business? Can I tap into this current trending topic? It's a viral topic that is maybe fun, or it's a thing that it's an issue, a niche issue that your audience is bringing up. Can I maybe solve this and pitch my solution to the journalists that spread this further? So, and then so next to there's paid, but then there's this earned and all the community activities and partnerships that we're doing, and that everyone can also do themselves. But it should be the last point to try to automate it. It needs really the human touch in it.
yeah, true. So a lot of people use this the automations, the AI, the chat GPT and the and co to do this outreach because they have a limited budget. Most times they don't have the resources, they don't have the budget to pay people to do these things for them. But like we're talking about today, you need a strategy to do everything. So how can, if even though a business has a limited budget to do PR, how can having a strategy to spend this limited budget? How can having a strategy help the business?
Yeah. So PR strategy needs to be revised like very regularly and built upon, because the times are fast, audiences are changing fast, topics are changing fast, everything works so can go viral in a moment. So it's never just one fixed strategy, but how to set up a strategy is you start with a brand message that that comes from your assumption, but you need to fill it with the research on looking into the media outlets that are reporting on your industry and topics, and following the relevant social media hashtags. And then you extend on this. So you have your core brand message, but this should never be a fixed message. Like with all your learnings from and evolvements and developments in your industry and topic, and all the advancements in technology, that you can refine your brand message further and further. But this is where it all starts. And then all the different tactics come in to supplement the strategy. And the tactics in PR are to plan for press releases and press announcement, journalist outreach. But what we start usually with is go into the different directories. Just have your business listed everywhere on the relevant platforms. This is what with PR on the go, we basically collect all the different platforms where businesses can list in the different categories and the different creative industries and for technology. And this should be the first step. So before you reach out to a journalist, that there's actually something to find on Google, because a journalist always Googles your business name and your name to see if you're relevant. So you want to be at least as a startup in the relevant startup directories listed. Or, as a fashion designer, there are tons of fashion platforms for fashion design. You want to list them all. So there's a basis on Google, because the journalists will Google you. So you want to decide for the social media platforms you are using and your owned media. So if you want to host a podcast or a blog and you want to establish some content, so that when a journalist Googles you, they will see like, okay, this is relevant. They're onto something great, they're what they're talking about. Then the second thing is what we're also collecting with PR on the go and make available for free are different interview opportunities. There are tons of specialized media outlets that are looking for entrepreneurs from different categories to interview. So food entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs. So you want to introduce yourself and have your first entrepreneur interviews through them. And there's also a great learning curve. Another big thing, a lot of founders, a lot of entrepreneurs, they never find the time to answer these entrepreneur interviews. So let's say it's 10 questions. You can't just answer with one short sentence. You need to bring in the content. And they usually say, oh, we don't have the time. So, but there's a big reward when you get into these interviews, because once the entrepreneurs, when we work with them and we see them like answering all these questions, the questions are actually helping them to refine how to communicate their business model even better. So it's all the input that you would do in PR is also like really great to further go into your strategy. And then you can go, so once you have these out, also then you start the outreach to journalists. So you can have press releases, press announcements. You plan for news announcements regularly, so at least once a month, that you have news that you can share, and you start pitching, and then you try to get involved with your audience through community projects on community platforms, or through non-profit organizations to make a difference to your audience. Whatever it is you find out your audience cares about, you get involved with. The same with, you figure out these are your best clients, you reach out to them and ask to interview them for your blog or for your own podcast, or get a testimonial quote from them, which you then can share via social media. It's all about this, trying to build relationships with your core audience. But what a lot of people do is, when they do it themselves, especially outreach specialists, they just want to get everywhere, get a backlink, but this gets lost, right? The World Wide Web is far and wide, so you need to refine your brand message further and further and repeat it in every interview and everything you do, so that it sticks with others.
That's really. I think that's one thing businesses should look to. So you should, first of all, before you even start, you should first of all have your brand message ready. Then once that's in place, then you try and list on all relevant directories in your field. Then that makes you Googleable, because when journalists try to contact you, they would usually Google your company, Google your name to see if you're relevant in that field and all that. Then you make sure you try and take advantage of interview opportunities and build and keep relationships with your audience. So I think every business owner should take this into cognizance before going into trying to do a PR campaign. So you've been in this field for about 15 years now. Do you have any examples of any small businesses that have used creative PR tactics to generate growth, to generate exposure for their business?
Yes, of course. Mm, you can generate the most buzz if you are bold enough to come up with a controversy, I found. So this was true for CEOs of large corporates that we worked for, but also for student artists that we collaborated with. So someone who has a feeling for PR knows not just to answer questions in an interview or just to be like, okay, this is me, please feature me, but to come up with a bit of a controversy. This is something people can actually learn. So I've seen this, entrepreneurs learn this through working together, but they need to be interested in PR. A lot of people are just interested in the fast backlinks. Is it a do follow backlink? Is it good for my SEO? Like
Yeah.
this fast consumption. But when you're actually interested in how PR works the best, and these are the most fascinating people to work with, because you would give them any interview opportunity. It doesn't need to be a big media outlet, but once you bring up something provocative, or you state like, this is going to happen in my industry in the next 6 months, and you're very confident about it,
Yeah.
or this is what we're going to do, and it sounds a bit insane, or a bit, like a bit, just a tiny bit like controversy, then this is what journalists jump on. You will have other
Hmm.
media outlets reaching out to you. So this is an art form, though. No, not everyone can do this. But
Yeah.
I work with people like from student artists to big scale entrepreneurs and CEOs that are able to do this. So they get an opportunity to speak with a journalist, or with someone from the media, and they would bring up something that is a bit that is bold, that is just a bit bold. Yeah,
Hmm.
so that's actually the biggest trick to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you talked about having a brand message as the first step in your PR strategy. So for a new business just starting out, how would you say what process would they go through to develop a brand message for their business?
Yeah. So every business owner, obviously, they know what they want to achieve with their business or want to solve, because usually they did a business plan, or they thought about it long, and so they actually have like the cornerstones of this is what we're doing. But then the brand message is not about like this is what we do and we want to achieve, but it's looking outwards, like what do we bring to the table for others. So to always answer the question that your customer would ask is, what's in it for me? So you always adapt the brand message to make it relevant to your audience. No one cares if, oh, this is my passion to do it, so I'm doing it. They care more about what's in it for them. So you need to
Yes.
answer this question. So, and something that they can agree on. So, and what I really like, this first step to set up a Google alert and subscribe to the newsletters of the media outlets in your industry, or if you're a local business, all the local city magazines, and if you really look what they're reporting on, and in your industry, what are the trending keywords. So you would fill the brand message with trending keywords. What is talked about right now on social media and in traditional media, um, that fits my business model, and you want to use these keywords. So someone specializing in media monitoring right now would this year use the keyword social listening, because everyone's talking about it, right? Or an ice cream
Yeah.
shop, it's like maybe there's a season, everyone's, there are even viral trends in ice cream. So maybe everyone's talking about popcorn ice cream this summer, because this is such a fashion trend to make photos with popcorn ice cream. So you would bring this up and say like, oh, we're having a large variety of ice creams every summer, super innovative, such as popcorn ice cream. Okay, this is a silly example, but just um, to make the point that you would work with these keywords. That's why it's also an ongoing process. So in 2 years' time, it might not be so relevant anymore. So you adapt your brand message. So you would bring it further, right?
All right,
Yeah.
that's interesting. So I think you build your brand message based on what is in it for the audience, because a lot of us start try to craft the brand message and talk about you, me. Nobody really cares about you that much, and they also watch out for keywords like you said via social listening. Look out for the hashtags and everything. So I think we've been able to talk about a basic strategy for a business who wants to do their PR. We've been able to talk about some tips, some tricks they can use, controversy, and things like that. We've talked about the importance of having a brand message and how you can craft a working brand message for your business. So now let's talk about you a bit about your business PR on the go. I know you mentioned a bit about it earlier. So what is PR on the go about? How does PR on the go help the typical business?
Yes, so it evolved from our core PR agency business, which is just traditional PR campaigns that we do globally across the focus markets: US, UK, and Europe, and also a bit of Asia Pacific. But then with PR on the go, we completely bring our resources out in the open, like basically make them open source, if you will. And we assembled a network of PR experts, mostly from North America, but also from the UK. And we just publish all the different platforms where you can submit your business, your creative business, and we publish a lot of PR advice, and also meet contact lists of journalists, databases. So all the things, all the different tools, it's a playground for us to play with technology. How can we make it accessible, but also like how can we communicate like the resources? And sometimes it's just listing them, like here reach out to this magazine because they're now looking for musicians, and submit your music there. Like sometimes it's just listing these things, but we also like keep completely up to date with all the journalists that are looking to receive pitches. So we publish them in a media bulletin via our newsletter, and then you would receive like the different journalists that are looking for products or new startups, and where you can reach out to, so to make this as authentic as possible, and without automating too much, because it's still like we said earlier, like it's still a people business. You still
Yeah.
need to put in the effort to build these relationships authentically.
All right. So it's basically a collection of resources and lists of different places where a business can share their story, a list of experts from around the world, and also opportunities where they can this thing. So I think that's that's a good way for a business to get started with PR. So building PR on the go, I can see it's mostly a tech platform, and you're a PR expert. So what were the biggest tech challenges you encountered when building these products?
Yeah, so I love tech. I do the development myself. So, but I'm just a hobby coder, right? So there were like tons of IT frustrations behind it already. Like I tried so many different. In the beginning, we tried so many different things there, and now it's in a, yeah, it will always be like a playground where we test everything, like which formats. So now it's just the easy part, which is the front end development, and then there was obviously like the experts. They have a back end where they come
Yeah.
together, and we discuss all the content that is going to be published, which is all like the PR advice, and so with mostly is the whole IT implementation. So we test a lot of different things. Obviously, like the easier things, which are Calendly to schedule calls, or a Stripe for payment processes. But the whole IT infrastructure. So now we're currently working on integrating the Vonage API, which is where we will host a complete network. So we will have a lot of live streams where PR experts are talking about their topics, and users like startups and entrepreneurs, they can call in and ask their questions. But the implementation, it always sounds so easy, but then something gets stuck in IT with some authentication problem through Firebase or something, and then it just gets stuck for a month, and that is highly frustrating. At the same time, like there's so many learnings, so what works, and then we use it for our core agency business where we can automate some processes as well. This is great, but to implement APIs. It's like to have it cost efficient, or also use some open source in the development, plus plus our own features. It's mostly IT problems. So what I want to avoid, so what it should be truly unique and developed for us, right? So you don't
Yeah.
want just to put together ready-made applications and
Yes.
pay tons of subscriptions each month to have this running. So
Yeah.
the goal is really to build something on our own and just have some, to include some APIs, but mostly open source and our own development, but some hosting such as Firebase. But so this is the main goal. And I think this is the most sustainable solution, to not just put together tons of subscriptions, like here's your newsletter subscription, here is this your to host all your community members, this is for your backend subscription. It just explodes, right?
Yeah.
Like, this
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I
Like,
think I
you
was
have
talking
the
to
best experience with this.
yeah, I was talking to a guest, I think sometime last year, and he mentioned that they pay over $10,000 a month in subscriptions, and that's just the kind of nightmare I know a lot of us try to avoid, because a lot of these things are, if you look closely, there are always alternatives, like I always say, to everything, and the alternatives a lot of times work better than the than the popular options and all that. So yeah.
Exactly. So I had developers I was talking to, and they were like, "Oh no, there's a free, there's a paid subscription model for this. Just take this; it's ready." I'm like, "No, we want to have our own thing. We don't just want to feature tons of different other tech products on there that
Yes.
are assembled on one website. And this is, like you said, it's most of this is available open source. You just need to look beyond all the marketing, and
Yeah.
by having it available open source, it's actually feasible, because you don't have the monthly subscription costs. So you can build actually a sustainable business, and it's not featuring other platforms. It's featuring, your thing, like you're actually developing something. So this is the most of this is why I started to look more and more, and be in more boot camps than ever, to learn more about it, to have
Yeah.
control over. I mean, it's a very slow development process, because I want to take control over it.
Yeah.
At the same time, I wasn't advised so well. So this is also when we got in contact, I was so happy that you're on this topic, because it's the most important to build something that is actually customized to your own thing, and it's to look beyond the highly marketed solutions, which
Yeah.
are not the best. I found out. Yeah.
That's true. All right. So I think w- if listeners want to reach out to you, probably they want to work with your PR agency to get their business out, or they want to get advice from you or consult with you, or probably check out maybe PR on the go, any of your products. How can they reach you?
Yeah. So the best way to reach me is through LinkedIn or via email, at thecoop.de. .de is for the German website we started with, and pronthego.com. There's also an email available, and just get in contact, reach out, check out PR on the Go, the resources. But I would be very happy to get in contact with new entrepreneurs. And because this excites me really much, like people that start their business and want to grow it. I'm always so happy when because I truly believe entrepreneurship can fulfill people to really learn to make the best out of their skills,
Yes.
to really develop them. So at the same time, it's also really hard at times, entrepreneurship.
I think it's the hardest thing I've done in my life.
Right. So I'm usually like putting it up, like glorifying it, but actually, let's be real here, it can also be freaking hard times. So yeah, I think networking and partnerships is the most important. So I
Yes.
love when people are reaching out and to extend the network even, and there are always great ways to collaborate. And this is the most important, to strengthen small business owners, startups, and consultancies like everywhere. Um, you know, to be stronger together, to network a lot. So I'm really happy when people are reaching out, because the corporates, they have all the resources. They don't need to do the networking,
Yeah.
right? but
True.
I find it so much more authentic to work with startups. So.
True. True. All right. So for the listeners, you've heard that everything will be on the screen, will be in the show notes when this goes out. You can reach out to Melanie at thecoop.de. You can reach out on proonthego.com, or you can reach out to Melanie on LinkedIn, Melanie Marten on LinkedIn. So for the listeners, did you get any value from this episode on PRO? If you did, then share with anybody who you know it would help. So maybe you have friends, you have colleagues who started their businesses, they're looking for how to get in the media, or they've tried to get in the media but it's not really working. Share this episode with them if you can help them. And if you want to be the first to know when we post more helpful content like this for your business, don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're hearing my voice on right now. We had at least a few weeks ago, we had an episode on PR2. So you can, after listening to this, you can just scroll down and check that out, learn more about PR for your business, and keep looking for new ways to take your business, like I always say. So thank you, Melanie, for coming on, and thank you all of you for being with us up to this point.
Thank you so much.
All right. So till next week when we come with a solo episode. Bye for now.
Bye.
Stop.